Hi, my name is Ken Schwaber, and I'm going to tell you something about a new organization that I started. It's called Scrum.org, and it is the home of Scrum. So Scrum.org, and what we have at it right now are 3 bodies of knowledge. One is about Scrum itself, not a big deal, it's only like 16 pages in total. One is about Scrum development practices. That is the practices that a Scrum team would use to develop an increment of software within an iteration. And the third are Scrum master practices, that is best practices for using Scrum. So Scrum has all these, Scrum.org has all of these 3 bodies of knowledges, and what we do is we partner with a number of organizations. So at this point, the one you're listening to is about Microsoft and Exentient. And we have partnered with them to create courseware about how to be a team of developers in a Scrum project and develop an increment of software within an iteration from a selected product backlog item. So they have developed that courseware, and it's great courseware, great work by Richard Hunthausen from Exentient. And with this courseware, we now, with Exentient and Microsoft, license this courseware to people who will train, who are trainers, and will train groups of developers on using that courseware. So if you go to this course, what you will learn is how to work in a Scrum team to develop a product backlog item that you have selected into a done increment of software that is potentially shippable within a time box, and in doing so using the VS system for 2010 with modern engineering practices. So for instance, test-driven development, acceptance test-driven development, refactoring, modern automated test harnesses. This is an ambitious undertaking because it is showing teams of developers not just modern practices, not just Scrum self-organizing teams, not just how VS for 2010 works, but to how to work together to do something of business value within a time box. So this is a very, very extensive, intensive, valuable course. And this is what the trainers will be conducting training courses with. Now at the same time, we are opening up certification programs. So people that want to show that through this course or in other ways that they have these skills to be certified as a professional Scrum developer is the phrase we're using, professional Scrum developer, that they have the capability to be known as that. They can take certification exams. And this one, they're taking one about the Scrum development team, so professional Scrum developer. And if they receive a high enough score and receive high enough markings from their trainers, they will receive a professional Scrum developer certification.
Okay.
The problem that we're addressing with this professional Scrum developer program is one that Martin Fowler described several years ago as flaccid Scrum. And the issue is that we have people who are trained as Scrum Masters, we have people who understand how to use Scrum, but the developers themselves, when they get into the sprint, haven't been trained or never knew or forgot the modern engineering practices to turn a product backlog item into something that a customer can evaluate and potentially ship. Similarly, many of them don't have the tooling or understand the tooling to do so. So this is part of our program to make it, to improve the professional skills of the developers, so at working together as a team in a Scrum environment, they are able to do this. Without this, we are simply having an iterative incremental attempt to show our customers things, but our engineers, our professionals are incapable of doing so. So this is a really, really serious program to improve the quality of our profession, to make it so that people in our profession know how to do things if they don't now, and to make it so we can gain the satisfaction and trust of our customers. In the past, there's been many comments about the ideas of certification. certifications given out, and there's no test certification. There's a test, but anyone can pass it, anyone can fail it. And so we've taken a number of steps with this program, and that is precisely why I formed Scrum.org, to rectify past mistakes and to implement ways of making sure that this has value. Let me go through some of those so you understand the process. First of all, there are bodies of knowledge. These are full definitions of what are best practices for different aspects of product and development. Secondly, we have courses based on those products, on those bodies of knowledge, and these courses that we publish are standardized. That is, they cannot be modified extensively by the people who have been trained in them and are using them. They cannot be adapted to whims, which don't reflect best practices. They are not controversial. Instead, they are meant to be used as intended so that we know that the people who are being trained are getting something of value. Thirdly, we meet frequently with the people who are doing the training and using the training material, and at least twice a year in elongated face-to-face sessions to update, revise, and modify this material so we can take into account the experiences we've had and any new practices that we need to take. Thirdly, the people who attend these courses are evaluated by the instructors. So this is a subjective evaluation against a number of criteria. If they pass this evaluation, then they are allowed to move on to taking a certification test administered by an Institute of Software Certification, which is a very, very high quality test. If they pass the subjective certification in the course and they pass the quantitative assessment by the certification body, then they receive a certification. Now, as part of certification, what we are also doing is this testing process has to be available to anyone who thinks that they are a professional Scrum developer. So this certification will not only be available to those who are taking these certification courses for professional Scrum developers, but also for anyone in the profession who believes that they meet these criteria. We do believe that we're going to see higher marks from those people who are professionally trained, and this will instead be very interesting. Thank you very much for your interest in this program. I think you'll find it fascinating, and I hope you have a good time, and this is probably a tough time too, making this happen for our profession, for yourself, and for our developers.